How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Oh no. How's everyone? There. There. That was close. That was close. Oh my gosh. That was a catastrophe. I can stream. I promise. I know what I'm doing. All right. Sorry I'm a little late. For any of you that know when I usually stream, this is not it. All right. What should we do? I don't even know. Like, I'm not sure what to do today. Honestly, I'm not sure. Um. You know what? I can't even think of a title for this stream because I don't even know what we're going to do. Usually I come into these streams with something to do, but all I knew was I was going to stream tonight. So let's do it. Go or Rust or Java. You decide. There we go. I gave you a choice. It's up to you now. It's up to you. The fate of us all. All right. I think while I'm waiting for somebody to decide my fate, we might just... What might we do? We'll see. We'll see. Let's do this. First, we're going to start off by making this commit, get status. What is in here? All right. That's not exactly true. Let's see. All better error and logging for container building. All right. We're going to merge that. Pretty much. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, looks good. Merge that. Cool. I wanted to get this out of the way because one of the next things... Let's make an issue for this. Oh, Nighthound already made it. Look at that. Look at that. Not for hard mode. Not to be taken lightly. We'll throw hard mode in there. Boom. Yeah, I'm a good open source maintainer. This one is... Let me edit this as well. No, I won't edit. There could be some extra information, but cool. Thank you, Nighthound, if you're on. Nighthound is what he goes by on Discord, by the way. I realize it's different here. But yeah. So what happened? Yeah, what happened? Let's talk about what happened and why we're doing this and why we're looking at KPack. If we look in our container builder here, so we made this service that builds containers. And I don't know why, and I can't figure out why, so I'm just aborting, which is usually the right thing to do. So in this, actually, you know what? Server, here we go. It's in here. So in here we have this create container command, which is calling, at some point in here, it calls the pack command, the pack CLI, to do a build pack. And we were finding out a problem where it wouldn't build a second container. It works great. It builds a container, and then you make another request, and this build container down here, let's see, yeah, here we build the options. Here we get the new pack container, and the second container would always fail. The third would fail. The fourth would fail. You restart the service, and it builds the first one. There is some file, there is something that's being held open, but for the life of me, I can't figure it out. I can show you what I did to try to figure it out. So let's go here. So here, I was playing around with this last night, and you can see here, this is just like a really simple test client. It builds, oops, I quit. You know what? If I had emoji logging, I probably would have figured it out. Dutch is not wrong. Dutch is not wrong. If I was next level enough to use it. So I built a little playground yesterday. And it just builds this little sample app right here. Which is just a ping pong server. So it just listens on. It's a stupid service. But it makes this a container. That's all it does. And if we go here, all I do is I do a new client and I call build. That's what I do. And then I do it all again. And I tried everything. So in this, I'm even getting a different context. I'm getting a new Docker client. I provide my own new Docker client. And this fails. The second build always fails. I give it its own options, its own everything. So we can test this out. And you can see it builds the container the first time, but when you go to build it the second time, it says executing lifecycle, right? Standard error, file already closed. So this library is holding state somehow. I think this is a bug in the library, to be honest, but I think most people use that as a command line. And because most people use it as a command line, they expect the process to have closed. That's the only thing that I can come up with. Because I'm getting a new client. This is called CLI up here or down here, and here it's a C. So there's no shadowing or anything like that happening. I have no idea. And this doesn't have anything in it to say like, yeah. Anyways, that being said, this has more than that as an issue. Actually has multiple issues. So the other problem that this has, Dutch, I think you'll remember this, is that this requires us to pass Docker in. And it means that this has to be a privileged container. And that's not really good from a security standpoint. It's not very good from a security standpoint. So what we have found is KPack. And KPack uses the same build packs that we're leveraging. So in this, we're using these build packs here to do what we're doing. But it does it in a OCI spec. This is a operator that runs. And so there's a KPack CLI that hits the API, and we can just integrate with that. So that's what I think we need to do or should do. Yeah. We're already using Kubernetes. So this would be like, okay, well, if we weren't already using Kubernetes, KPack would force us to use Kubernetes, which would kind of suck. But we're already using Kubernetes. So this is just basically the same implementation, just directly on Kubernetes. And the really cool part about this is it doesn't require us to have a privileged container. So KPack extends Kubernetes and uses unprivileged Kubernetes primitives to provide builds of OCI images as a platform implementation of cloud native build packs. So I think this is really cool. Honestly, we should have gone with KPack from the beginning. My bad. Was that a decent explanation, Dutch? Are you still here, Dutch? Maybe not. All right. So, Dutch, I don't know why. We can't build, like, it's the exact same thing. It runs as a container, but it doesn't need privileged containers, which right now we're running a privileged one and mounting the Docker socket straight through, which means if my container has a security permission flaw, you have root on the machine. So I don't know why this doesn't work. I thought I was going to spend 20 minutes and figure it out. Like, that's what I thought it was going to be. Like, okay, something in this client is getting held. Something. I don't know what. I'm passing in a new Docker. What is it holding a file on? And I don't know. I looked for an init. I hate it when places use an init. and I didn't find an init. That's like the only time, like, but I don't know if in this package there's an init. That it's just not in this file. So I haven't done a perfect look, but. So if it was, the second time I run it, it should fail. Right? So the second time I run it, it should fail, right? But it builds the first time. So if I was to run it a third time, if I was to run it again, so it runs once per process, right? So I was thinking the same thing, but it will always run this first time. It will always run once. And then the process, the actual Linux process has to start over. I also tested, we can copy and paste this to the top. But then it can't open something. But that's what I'm saying. If it closed something, I'm not opening it here, and I can run it again and it will work. Again, the first one builds, see? It built the first time. So like if something was closed, like if it closed the Docker, then but I'm making a brand new one, right? I'm making a new client right here. I don't think... I know it can't be the socket. I understand. I don't think a client should natively hold state that you don't give it. So like here, I'm just calling new client. And if I get a new client, this old client shouldn't affect the new one. Like, I do think that this is a bug. I don't know how to word it, though, for the team. I thought about writing an issue on it. But basically, you can't run build twice. And I haven't found a bug. Like, I haven't found a bug report. So I'm assuming nobody uses the CLI that way. They use it once. Like, they use it as a CLI. They use it like this. They say pack, whatever. Which means the process only runs once per packaging. And that works for the people. That's not what I'm trying to do with it. So that's why we need to move to this. This is an operator that sits there and runs and builds containers based off of CRDs. So this is what we're going to use, I think. Show you the error again? It's this one. The big time error is me. This is all them. Executing life cycle, write dev standard error, file already closed. It closed a file that it meant to open. I don't know what file, though. I was searching. Like, these are the things that it has open, but it makes new ones of all of these. It makes new ones of all. So I was looking through this. Let's see. If we go here, it basically makes new ones of all of these. This is in the Go plugin from HashiCorp, though. You know what I didn't do is this. Oh, you know why I didn't do the sleep? I thought about doing the sleep. And the reason I didn't do the sleep was that in the service, we I would ask it to build another image like 10 minutes later and it would still fail. So like this doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. The logger did cross my mind. So when you look at new client, it does this right here. So maybe this is actually it. I talked myself out of this because it shouldn't. My thought was this should be fine if it's all done. But we could give it a logger, right? Just to test, to like pass in. I'm wondering if they have something similar like this. This actually sounds very, very similar. I think you're right, Dutch. So I think we could do like a. Let's do this. Let's see. Yeah, I do like the idea of getting it to work because like everything kind of works with how it is now, and it's actually a lot of work. I was a little bummed. I was a little bummed with like, we need to give this. How do you give basically? I want it to write to nothing. I don't want to give it the standard error out. Oh, to nothing. io.discard. Okay. Okay. This does not return an error. All right. But yes, I also agree that KPAC, like, that was kind of what I was saying is like, KPAC, we're already using Kubernetes. If we weren't using Kubernetes, I'd be like, it's not worth adopting Kubernetes to adopt KPAC. But the rest of the architecture is based off of that. So, like, to me, it makes sense to just leverage KPAC. So I do think we should, but it would be really nice to not have the pressure of like, my system doesn't work at all. It works once. Space Age remind. Thank you so much. My goodness. You are a legend. Oh my gosh. All right. And then we can do C error equals client, new client. And we'll pass in this one. And now we can delete this one. Cool. Oh, this is checking the error. Okay, let's put that down here. All right, now this bottom one will create its own, but it shouldn't be. This one should use the default new client one. Which the default new client one should use the standard error. And so if they're screwing it up, I hope doing this one with discard will at least let the two run. I do think this is a bug in how they're handling the close, though. If this works. It worked. It worked. Wait. Did it work? Oh, it did work. Because the second time through, it did so much less because it basically was like, yeah, it's the same thing. Okay. So, Dutch, I have a free internship to offer you if you'd like it. It's at a brand new, cutting edge cloud technology firm. The experience is great. I've heard the people you would work with, great, fantastic. You know what? I'm sure I could even convince them to snacks sent to your house. Yeah. Would I have you sold for the internship if it was the ethical dogfighting? Is that what I'm getting? Oh. I just need to not try to solve real world problems. Just get the addicts money. Dutch, I don't think you follow me on but if you did, I had a fantastic tweet. I had a fantastic tweet. I thought you would like it. It was inspired by Russell. I had to think on it a little bit to like condense it to a tweet. But it was the let's be consistent. And let's use PKG for our private code, and PKG for our public code. All in your Go workspace. All right. Is there a good workaround for this, though? Is my question. I want to say no. Can we have CMD? Yes. That is the spec. I mean, that is the spec. You've got it. Well, I figure most CLIs have internal usage. Yeah, that type of stuff you want in lowercase. Absolutely. We should make maybe I'm going to make a mock repository and make a video about it. I feel like that's not my YouTube channel. I need to make like a second YouTube channel where I do the mockery. That's what I think I need to do. A Go paste password manager can only have lowercase. What a fool. He made an uppercase password. It's really his own fault. The audacity to make your password start with an uppercase. All right. What was I doing here? Oh. Can I make this work for me, though? So we made this work by doing this hackery, right? But I can't just keep burning. Do I have to... Oh, you know what? I think what we need to do... We just need to do something like this. We just need to do something like this, right? And then we can keep the reference to it. And then we need to follow what these guys did. And we need to... This isn't going to work, though, right? Because if they're closing it... If they're closing it, we'd have to start it again. That's why restarting the application works. So basically, I just need to pass in... I know I don't want discard. I mean, I can get dev, or not dev, but I can get standard error. I was just testing discard. Discard was just my test, so I have a different location to write to, because this is going to take this one down here. This one, does the standard error. But I almost quit. So we can flip this to standard error. Wait, I thought it was io.str and error. Wait, what was it? 1 second. Oh, it's OS. My bad, not IO. But so the problem is it's closing this. No. The problem is this won't work anymore. Oh, that was called D. So let's call this something else. The reason this works is because this down here, now this won't work anymore because it closes standard error. It won't work anymore because standard error is getting closed. There's no go routine here. So we have to reopen standard error, right? We have to get a new one. We have to basically call this right here, right? I don't know. It's what fixed it though, because we did one with standard error and one with discard and it worked. But when they both go to standard error, it fails and says it's closed. So what I'm going to do is this right here. I don't know that it closes standard error. I think that it's closing our pipe to standard error, if that makes sense. Obviously not closing standard error itself. So you know what I'm going to try to do? I'm going to try to create a new standard error down here with this. I don't know if this is going to work. I've never done, this is beyond my my abilities, but what I'm going to do is new std err equal. I'm just going to did I not copy that? I'll just copy all of it. You know what? I'm not saying what I'm doing is making sense. I'm saying it's what works, okay? I am now just pressing keys too. Whoa. With logger? Logging, new logger with writers, new standard error. Okay, I think this makes no sense. I think this makes no sense. I need new simple logger. 1 second. New simple logger. New file is not cool. You're telling me it's unnecessary, but it's not working. Okay? It's not working. I'm a dum-dum. If this works, are you ready? Are you ready? It didn't work. Oh, but this is a different one. Ooh, this is a different one. So let's do this. Let's not do with Docker client. That was weird though. One second. That's a weird error. We're just going to pretend we didn't get that error, right? We don't need to. Nothing we're testing is the Docker client. Yeah, we're going to pretend that one didn't happen. It works the first time. We have our wait. And now we get a broken pipe. Okay. Oh. That was the actual error, but you couldn't write that because your standard error was oh. Oh. Now we have a broken pipe. So for this one, we do new client with logger with, Dutch, it's not that we're closing standard error. We're closing our connection to it, our file handle to it. Standard error is effectively just a file, right? So we're just closing our pointer to that file. That's all. We're closing the Go mechanism to that file. I think. You're not closing the file. I don't know what does that. Pack does. Pack does. This is why I was saying I don't like how this library is working if it's doing this. It shouldn't be closing standard error. It shouldn't be calling close on it. And I don't know why this isn't working. Why is this giving me broken pipe? Wait a second. Ooh, interesting. Wait a second. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting an error in this build. We're getting a broken pipe somewhere in here. I'm guessing in here. Yeah, I don't think it reached here. I think it's dying in here, but why? We give it a new logger. I don't know. All right, so we're a one-trick pony. We're a one-build pony, and we'll migrate to K-Pack, which sucks because, yeah, like it's going to be a decent amount of work. It's going to be a decent amount of work. I don't know how to do this, though. Like, maybe there's a way to do this that I just don't. I've never had to do this before. Like, I never had to reopen this. This seems like the right way to do it. Like, I don't know, but this seems like it should be fine. Or we could try with, like, standard out. That was pitch perfect. That was a pitch perfect. Could tune a piano off of it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like actually figuring this out, but then I feel like maybe I should. Maybe I should just open an error, or like open an issue and just state like if you run the build twice, the second time will fail in the same process, and it seems to be something around a file handle. Honestly, this almost looks like it should return a new file. Oh no, it's a var. Okay, I got it. I was reading it wrong. So it's only gonna happen once, but I feel like I should be able to call this multiple times. Huh. So which then I don't know why this is giving me a broken pipe. What are the other options in here? Let's see. We have our logger, keychain, image factory, image fetcher, downloader, lifecycle executor, build pack, downloader. None of these strike me as things that would have file. My guess is that there's something else that uses something else that's calling os.standard error, which is giving the broken pipe, right? Because now it wouldn't be. What did these people do again? Ensure we finish reading standard error pipe before calling command wait. So the broken pipe means that your build server crashed and the client lost. I don't have a build server though. This is just a demo thing here. This is all in the code here. It should be building it here. It's not a build server. It's not, I mean, you could say Docker. We can check if Docker crashed. I don't think Docker crashed though. There is no server here though. No, no, this is purely, I made this super simple. I guess in Packer, no, the client is making a thing to calls to Docker. That's all. I mean, it is making calls to Docker. But there is no like back end to this. There's these lifecycle executors, but I mean, this is all being driven by this client. But I don't know how Docker would have an issue based off of our standard error. I mean, unless it screwed up standard error, the file. Maybe we should go cat it. maybe we've done busted it. I had somebody on YouTube ask me if we could build a operator in Java. The audacity. So we're probably going to do it at some point. You guys let me know when you want to see painful Java. We'll probably do it. Wait. Hold on. A Kubernetes operator, can I unsubscribe from them before I follow them? What are you talking about, Dutch? Just one of my YouTube contents. I did a YouTube video on how to make a Kubernetes operator in Go. And they asked if I could do one of those videos with Java. Like I would know how to do it with Java, but I can figure it out. I don't know if they actually make YouTube videos. Most of the people that watch my YouTube videos don't actually make YouTube videos themselves. They want a Kubernetes operator in Java, yeah. No, just no. I thought the fun thing to do, if we're going to do that, is to make it like a really trolly operator, something that like goes in and messes with your Kubernetes cluster or something. I don't know. To have some fun with it. We should have some fun. If we do it, we should have some fun with it. I'm not sure what it does yet, though. All right. What's the next test here? We could write one to standard out. You might as well start right. We weren't talking about script. Java's not that bad. It's at least strongly typed. I forgot about Oracle owning it. You know, the people sponsoring Oracle and Unity, the people that are sponsoring my how to write a enterprise license agreement. I thought it would be good. I thought you'd all like that. Like a good crash course on enterprise licensing agreements sponsored by Oracle and Unity. Okay. McAfee. All right, I think I'm done with this. It sucks. I don't know of a clean way to fix this, though. I'm trying to think of like something else to do here. I don't know why this causes a broken pipe either. You know what we could do? I don't know that this will work. I don't know that this will work. I kind of hope it doesn't work. Kind of hope it does work. Oops, that was me pressing a button. Okay. So interesting. You know what I'm wondering? What if we do this here too? I have no idea what I'm doing at this point. I am just doing things. This is the error that I had the first time. You're right. All right, we got a big time error. Invalid run image. So this seems like a Docker gets upset. But why would Docker get upset? I do believe this is because base it's looking in yeah, it's looking in var run docker sock, but var run docker sock is just it's just this is the same place. These are the same places. This is actually the root run here. All right, so it's not liking the Docker. We can pass in our own Docker client. That's what this is doing. But I was doing this the last time, and that doesn't seem to help. And interesting, if you run it a second time, the first time works again. And so, like, this is like it's still closing something that's not expected to be closed. Right? But it should be on new here. It should be creating a new Docker client. I don't know. I feel like we should just move on. But it stinks because that means to get the null cloud to work, we have to shift everything to KPack. Which almost sounds like a pop or hip hop song group people. Yeah, KPack. KPack is 2 packs, brother. Are they twins? Are they twins? Because then one of them has to be evil. That's what I've learned in life. If twins, one's evil, one's good. Inevitably. Let's we can look at doing this. I don't have anything else. Do you guys want to see some Rust? We can do whatever you guys like. I'm kind of looking at a frustrating problem, so I'm a little frustrated. Sorry. I'm trying to use a library that's trying to beat me. And I say trying, but I think it has soundly beat me. At least tonight. Let's see. We'll do this. Docker client is undefined. Six pack is his twin. Okay. I don't even know that I could tell you a name of the song that Tupac has written. I'm maybe a little out of touch with life and reality. Let's see if we can give something here to help with this. California Love. I don't know that I know that song. Are these names of songs? Or are you just... I don't know what you're saying. Are we even speaking English right now? Stop switching to Dutch. All right, so in here we're just passing the okay, we're passing in some options, but let's just undo that. Let's not pass options and just do new client. Can I just do new client? Yeah, I think I can just do new client. Let's just try that. And then obviously we need to I need options in new client. Oh gosh. Oh, here, we'll do this one. Okay. Okay. Okay, you win. There. That's what they're saying. Like, that's the default. Although that's really not much different than what we had. We just had the Docker API version, which is just copying with it. So I don't think this will work. But we're giving it a try. We're giving it a try. We're not going to let it defeat us yet. Can I get the right brace? Yeah, I do. I have those environment variables, right? Those are the ones that, don't those get created when Docker installs? So like, let's see. I actually don't know what they are though. It's not Docker. Let's see. Docker should let us print out the env, right? Is it just env? I mean, it's working the first time, Dutch. It's working this time, right? It's working the first time, so I think the from env is fine. Client. Wow, I misspelled client pretty soundly. With Docker client. All right. I mean, this isn't going to work, but this should work, if you know what I mean. The first one runs. This builds a container. This is all running. It finds the Paytico build pack. It finds this one. See? This is selected run image. This one. Boom. Finds it. Second time it runs. Invalid image. Run jammy full latest. Run jammy full latest. Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like there's not much more I can do without like actually going through like all the build pack stuff. All right, let's file a ticket. We'll file a ticket. We'll be a good build pack customer. GitHub build pack. So this is using pack. But last time I reported a bug on open source, Golang itself, I was told it was a feature and closed immediately. No discussion. It's a feature. Stop asking for stuff. Did you guys see that? The Linux kernel, long-term support. Not enough people are helping. Yeah. That'll be on the news. We're going to talk about that this weekend. Let me make this code really simple. I'm just going to copy and paste it in there. Let's get rid of this. We're going to get rid of all of this because, you know what? I am not going to explain everything that I tried. Not going to do it. If they ask questions, so this is what I'll do. If they ask me questions and are actually interested, unlike the Go community, then I will give them more details and I'm happy to go into this with them. If like Go, where I spent like 2 hours making the most beautiful thing, for them to be like, it's a feature closed without a conversation. I mean, it's a straight bug. Now, if you want to say that, if you want to say that it's not an important bug, that's fine. Let's make sure this is... Yeah, let's just print the error. That'll be good enough. None of my sarcasm needed here. Yeah, I'm fairly confident we know what's going wrong. And that it's not an us thing. That's why I built this simple project, as I like to really like when those, you know, in the whole Eddington area, it's kind of complicated. And it's like there's a lot of things going on. We even use some Go routines and like maybe we're doing something weird with those and screwing something up. So I like doing this where it's like, all right. What about here? Yeah, okay. I'm just going to delete that. They don't need that. Does this look good? I condensed it pretty well to just the code. Yeah. Actually, I'll copy the whole function. All right. And I get this error. Let's put that in there. This seems to revolve around, let's see. Revolve around, what does it revolve around? OS, the use of os.std error. Though when I tried bypassing this, I started to get Docker errors. I'm going to take that part out. I'm going to take that out. We're just going to talk about the standard error. They're going to see this. It should be pretty easy to reproduce. Yep. Okay. We're not going to, one step at a time. Build 2 containers, one after the other. I was gonna say something funny, but they might not enjoy humor. I don't know. It's just one. I get the above error. Get the above error. To build a second container. I have to watch myself. I'm pretty sarcastic, and it's not funny in an issue because people take it as you like being upset. I'm not upset. This is their project. Do whatever. But it's not appreciated, and I get it. Let's see. Environment. Run pack report and copy output here. Pack report. Docker info. I did mention that I'm using it as a library, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. Look good to you guys? Taking your silence as looks good. Ooh, we can click preview. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Cool. I say the above error because I was referencing here, but then I also then give it as well. English is not my strong suit. That reads better. All right. Done. Look at that. We are contributing to open source. This is our 3rd issue on stream. Not this specific stream, but in the last month or two. We're doing it. All right, what do we want to do now? We've played around with build packs. We played around with Go. Let's not do this. Let's see. What does this mean for Eddington? What does this mean for us? Well, it means that, one, we have this big issue here. It's going to be hard mode. We got to think about that. So what I think we want to do that is KPack has... I wanted the repository. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the GitHub of KPack, not this. Nope, not that either. This one right here, this link right here. Thank you. So KPack has the KPack CLI, which we could maybe use in our API server. So basically we could just include this CLI, KPack CLI in our thing. Now, my only problem with that, so we have two options really. We could directly write KPack files to the Kubernetes cluster, their custom resource definitions. We could directly write the KPack custom resource definitions to the cluster. But that feels rough a lot of the time. We can do it, but that feels rough. The CLI is pretty nice, but I have one problem with the CLI, and that is the Go mod. The CLI is from VMware. KPack itself, KPack is used by VMware in their Tanzu project. But the KPack itself is not owned by VMware and wasn't created by VMware. But they do use it in Tanzu? I don't know how to pronounce it, but this was created by VMware. Yeah. Okay, so my problem with this is the Go mod. And my biggest problem here is these right here. I don't like including things in my project that include API and API machinery, but it's okay. So I think maybe we'll just bite the bullet and do that. The reason I don't like this is it kind of locks you into versions of Go, which is also okay. It's okay. But it means that, you know, your API service has to have these versions. And I think right now we don't have those, so it shouldn't be a problem. The problem is if you have another thing, so if you have another requirement that also includes API machinery and client Go or API, these two are probably the bigger ones, then you have problems. This is not what I meant to go into. Let's see. We want to go to Go mod. We do have an API machinery already. It will be fine. It will be fine. This is also bad. Don't ever do this. These two should be together. They were meant to be together. Okay, that makes me feel better. So I think what we'll do is the API service, which is kind of the monolith. I say the API service, but maybe we call the API service Eddington itself. I'm not sure. Right now, it's the API server. The API server will just use the KPack CLI to make the calls. They're actually pretty well flushed out from what I saw. Let's see. It's in PKG. This is where my tweet was great. We needed a capital PKG here. So basically, it's a factory pattern. This has VMware. This has corporate code all over it. Freaking factory. Anyways, it's pretty easy. You make a factory, then you can make calls on it. Yeah, it seems fine. I don't particularly program like this a whole lot. It's an okay pattern. I think it reminds me of Java too much, but maybe that's not a bad thing. I sometimes think that we like see something abused and then decide that we hate it. And I fall into this trap too. I'm like, I hate factories. And the factory pattern isn't always bad. I think it just got abused a lot. Yeah, Dirk, this is definitely some enterprise stuff. Yeah, I agree. Right. Every pattern is a fine pattern when it's required. but you rarely, right. I rarely run into the factory pattern. And yeah, generally, the other thing with patterns is that they're there as a tool to leverage when they would be useful. One of the things that I don't like about this factory pattern is you end up with these factories and like it doesn't mean a whole lot. You have like a bunch of different factories and I don't know. I don't think it's the best pattern most of the time. It's not a horrible pattern, I don't think. You find yourself using a singleton. About how many singletons do you use? Because if you use the factory pattern once, that is like 100,000 times more singletons than you should have. I don't like the singleton. The singleton pattern sometimes is required. 100% will get on board with that. Sometimes is the useful thing to do, but I tried to also not do that as well. Singleton is right after factory. Or right before it. I use singleton before factory, probably. Probably? I don't know. My point. I think we can just use this. I don't love it, but I think it's fine. The other option that we have going forward with this, with KPAC, is KPAC actually puts out an open API spec. So we could just try to make a client based off of this and do it that way. I just feel like since the CLI, even if it's not the pattern that we would use, is probably better to just try to leverage this. That's what I think. You can't use KPAC? Oh no, their package folder is lowercase. What noobs? We'll have to put a pull request in. Let's just open an issue. Keep to standards. In Go lowercase letters are private. The directory PKG is lowercase, but I would like to use it in my project. Can we change it to PKG? There we go. I think that's clear enough, right? Right, everyone? That's good enough. All right. I'm going to go get a drink of water. I think an ad is about to start. I'm definitely not sending this, by the way. I'll be right back with a drink of water. And I'm back. And I'm back. All right. So, just so you guys know, I will be streaming this weekend. I know that there was some ambiguity if I would be streaming this weekend, and the answer is I will be. The next weekend, I will not. I won't stream on Saturday, and I won't stream on Sunday. I'm taking my kids to just a city over. I'm taking them to a different city, to a hotel with a pool. They're super excited about that, to go to a hotel with a pool. It's their mother's birthday, so I'm giving her a weekend to herself. She's a homebody, so she didn't want to go somewhere, so I'm taking the kids somewhere. So I'm doing that over the whole weekend, so no streams. So yeah, this weekend, I'll stream. Next weekend, I won't. I know, no tech news. No tech news. I'm sorry, Dutch. I'm sorry. You know what? If you follow me on Twitter, I would say that you could keep up to date with the news, but I really have I used to try to post like useful stuff on Twitter, and I have just literally gone to like, let me see what my latest posts were. Yeah, I mean, I have one trolling Unity and one trolling the Go community. So don't follow me on Twitter. That's all I'm up to on there. All right. What do you guys want? Go or Rust? Let's see. Dirk, you're still on. Do you want to see Go or Rust? Rust. All right, we'll jump onto some Rust. You simulated to a Twitch trader. Surely for. We already did Go, Dutch. You and I just sat through a bunch of Go. All right. You know what I was thinking? We need to... Hey, thanks for the follow. I hope that you got a follow notification on stream with your personal follow message. You should have. That's actually what this is right here. This is our Twitch alerts right here. And yeah, I hope that it was actually working. I didn't actually get to see because I didn't get to see that you followed. So hopefully it showed on screen and you got your personalized message. We can actually check what it was, actually. I don't know why I'm in here anyways. Use... Why is... No, I want use context. There we go. Twitch alerts 0. We can see what your yeah, it did work. Cool. So we got your deep in the treacherous dungeons. Thanks for the follow. So Dutch. In a pragmatic way, because I came from Go first. I would agree with you when I originally started working in Rust that I found it to be more difficult to write or read. I disagree with that now. I wholeheartedly disagree, but I understand where you came from or where you're coming from. It has. Well, everybody knows that I can't stand the arrow notation. Everybody knows that, so I won't harp on that. Why do we need a arrow? I don't know. I don't know what I pressed there either, but this, for example. But there's a lot of things like these match statements that once you understand the match statement, it becomes really, really easy. And it actually starts to make a whole lot more sense. Another thing that really trips people up is their enums and how their enums match and everything. And I think it makes it a very confusing language to read at first. But as soon as you get your mind around it a little bit, it's just very idiomatic and very easy to read, I think. Comes across very Python-y. Really? I've never heard that one. I don't like Rust syntax, but that's because it tries to be like C++. Okay, so I probably like it because it tries to be like C++. That's what I learned. Basically, I made a small Android app on Python, and then I learned C++ for a job. I also I don't like reading Python either. Also, so this snake case. I know a lot of people dislike snake case. As many of you know, I have trouble reading, and I used to hate snake case, but snake case is actually easier to read than camel case for me. So I actually love snake case because it's actually easier to read because there's actually spaces between the things and capitals don't really help me that much. So I actually really like snake case. As much as I know a lot of people that dislike snake case, it's way easier than camel case. I mean, I think that's the thing, Dirk and Dutch. When you learn a language, you're always going to be able to point out syntaxes that you would prefer. You know what I prefer? Here's another great one. Let me freaking type return here. Okay? This annoys the garbage out of me. Now, the Rust spec allows this, but Clippy doesn't. And like the whole community doesn't. So I don't. I try to do it as standard as possible. I don't like rewriting my own standards. But I don't like this. But yeah. So I mean, like, We could sit here and talk about the things that we don't like probably all night. The things that I do love is things like it's union types, or they're called enums, but they're union types. That's actually a little. I wish that they weren't called enums and just called union types, because I think that would make it easier for people to understand and wrap their head around. Their union types are amazing. Their union types, enums, absolutely amazing. The match, the things like that, the type safety is amazing. The way you manage memory is also pretty amazing. A lot of people say, oh, you don't have to manage memory. It's the borrow checker. You're still managing memory. You just do it in a different way. And it's a way that works as hard as it can to help make sure that you don't shoot yourself in the foot. Not that you can't, but it works very hard to prevent that. Enums in Go are not pretty awful. Pretty awful would be having enums. Do you know what's pretty awful? Do you know what's pretty awful? Actually, we want. Oh, I don't know the key command for live grep. Yeah, here we go. I got live grep here. No. Do I not have an enum in here? I do have an enum, don't I? Oh, wait. I'm in the wrong place. You hate mobile? Yeah, mobile is pretty much the worst. I thought I had an IOTA, but I don't see it. Anyways, Go enums are effectively not even a thing. You're just making constant numbers. They're dumb. There's no enforceability on them. So that means that not only do you not know if you covered every case in a switch case statement or a match case, but you don't know if it changed on you, and you don't know where that would affect you. It's the worst. I know I know, but I should be able to just do IOTA here. I don't have to do the equals. I feel like my live grep isn't working, or I'm live grepping in the wrong area. But that's okay. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. No, that got blocked because you said I personally don't like. But yeah, that's precisely it, Dutch. Okay, and even in the case that you don't want to cover all cases, let's say you have, for very good reason. Let's say you're testing for a specific case, a specific case. Let's jump over here to all right. Let's say on error we want to do something. I was gonna find just a quick error somewhere. I do the let else too much now. I love let else, by the way. I am glad that it got in there. Oh, this is a bunch of horribleness. All right, well, let's do this. We'll just make our own right here. Okay, sorry. We will just do... I'm so free with panics here. I guess this is like this is setting up SQLite. Sorry. Let's get out of that. Let's get out of that. Sorry, I'm pretty sure my cat just threw up over there. It's very distracting. Very distracting. And by my cat, I mean my wife's cat. I don't like cats very much. All right. Let's get back on this. So like, let's say we have something that could error. You know, we have this up here. We'll do like let AI. So up here we have this AI manager that we get right here with a new, and this new here actually returns a result. So we have to unwrap it here. But what you could do is this result is actually a enum. If you look at result, this is actually a... okay, this is a bad example because this is an anyhow result. A standard result is actually an enum. Bad example here just because I use anyhow a bunch. But the normal thing that you can do is then you can match on that. And if you wanted to match on the AI manager, or options, yes. The thing is, you can do match on anything. So my thing here, we can match on this. And if you want to say that you want to match on everything, you can do underscore, and it's a catch-all. And so this is fine. So if you don't want to catch, if your goal, you know, like if this was, let's say, you know, you wanted to catch your error, and you had some sort of error type. You had some type that could have error types, but also results. Maybe bad example. You could catch specifically the things you wanted. You know, like some, you know, something here, and do something with it. But if it's an error, you just want to return or whatnot, and you don't care what type of error it is. Again, maybe a bad example here, but you don't have to catch everything. You can explicitly say, I don't want to catch everything, but this is explicit. This is here is saying, I don't want to catch everything. This is fine. We need that. But anyways, you get the point. You get the point. Sorry, that was a bad ramble. I got interrupted in the middle of that. I got interrupted. All right. All right. So what do we want to add to this? One of the things that we'd like to do is also Dutch. Rust is a lot faster. It doesn't have a garbage collector, which also makes it more predictable. Go's garbage collector is pretty good, so like it's not a huge overhead, but it does make your app a little less predictable. So if you do a lot of thrashing, of like objects, it can cause issues, especially in a resource constrained thing like a pod. All right. So right now we're getting events. And Twitch API. All right. So what we'd like to do is maybe make this thing, the thing that makes all of our Twitch alerts run and work, a little bit more verbose. So there's a couple things we'd like to do. One is we'd like to play Wordle in chat. So basically, we need to be able to read chat. Rust wins in safety and correctness. Go has other wins. I consider myself pretty bipartisan here. I think if you're doing cross compilation is huge. Go wins in that, hands down. Another thing that Go wins at here. All right. If this is you and you have some front end that calls this this lightweight API that has some database, and you just retrieve stuff from that database, maybe you do a little bit of fiddling with that data in this. Go makes this really easy. I think it wins pretty hard at this because it's just easier and you don't have the brain overhead. So if you have developers that aren't as good, which sometimes it's harder to get good developers, this is safer in Go and easier. See, Dirk, that's the problem. Go has JSON serialization built in. So you don't need a third-party library to do this. Except Gorilla Mux. You probably need Gorilla Mux. But you don't need any of that. And you don't need to understand what driving is. Because to you, driving is magical. And it is magical. When you drive the SerDes deserialization, it is magical and it is super powerful. But that's coming from a place where you know Rust really well. That initial thing, you don't need to know any of that to do this in Go. Also, you can't put a floor on quality. What do you mean by that, Dirk? I'm not sure I understand what you mean by you can't put a floor on quality. I care about how much ceiling I have. Okay. I guess I care about being able to hire developers that can actually write this. And if you have to hire enough, sometimes it's hard to find Rust developers that could actually write this, right? People can learn. Absolutely. Do you have the time for people to learn this? To just do this? I don't always have. I'm not 100% disagreeing with you, Dirk. I tend to probably side with you, but I don't think that I don't think I go to the same extreme. You're right that deriving is a single struct or a single line, but it's also a magical line that other languages don't have that in theory, or that type that same thing. Macros, procedural macros like that aren't really a thing, and that's kind of a steep learning curve. Go actually restricts. No, I don't. I don't think Go restricts. I think that's the wrong way to word that, maybe, because I think you can have just as high quality. You just have to work harder at Go because Go doesn't have any safety gates. So by that, the ceiling for C++ is the same ceiling as Rust. You can have just as high quality a code in C++, Rust, Go, and before you rage unfollow, give me 1 second. C++. All of these have the highest level of possible quality. Python's down here because it has duck typing. It literally has a problem that you can't get around. Python, it's terrible. But actually, you can even get around that. But my point would be, how much work is it to get here? And Rust is low effort. Rust by default is higher quality. So this is lower effort. This over here is the highest effort. You have to have a lot of effort and you have to have a lot of knowledge to make this safe. And I would say that Go is medium. It requires medium effort to have high quality. I don't think it has a ceiling that you can't. You can get around enums and you can program your own things. That's extra work, though. Right? So, Rust makes that high quality easier. Whereas Go, if you wanted to get the same consistency, you can't use their enums. You have to use your own thing that wraps that thing. And so Rust makes it easier to have the same high quality. I don't think any of these inherently have a higher ceiling that the others can't obtain. Go's not going to enable you to do it easily. So I think I agree with you. I just look at it a little bit differently. You're looking at Go having a lower ceiling because it's harder to obtain, putting in the same amount of work, I think. In Python, I put it up here, but it's somewhere. It would be off screen, but, it's hard to see the chart then. Hey, but you have Go routines. Go routines is nice. I think we've hit... I actually have 2 complaints with Rust on this. Rust doesn't have native JSON parsing, and it doesn't have native threading, which, again, I think hits the bar to entry. It's really easy once you've done it once. You're like, oh, yeah, async await with Tokio or whatnot, and it's easy. But Go and Go routines is just part of the language, which makes it easier, honestly. Learning the ecosystem that even Serde exists is a step and effort. I won't get it. You have to use mutexes to protect your data. You mean the channels that Go has. The channels are nice. Rust uses channels too with threads. Look, and I'm not saying... Part of me likes the approach that Rust takes. I actually like the approach of not doing it in the language. I think it has a downfall, though, because then it's less welcoming to new people. I don't know if I'm making that point clear, or if it's a good point. Maybe it's not a good point. But because of that approach, it makes it, there's not an idiomatic way of doing it. If you want to do it with Tokio, fine. But Tokio is very biased towards I/O and not CPU intensive. If you want to do CPU intensive, you got to use this other library. And there's actually a couple libraries. And for better or for worse, when there's an idiomatic way built into the language, it's at least easy for newcomers to get in and do a thing. That's my statement. I'm not saying that I necessarily dislike Rust. It just makes it more difficult to get into, I think. Right, Dutch. That's kind of was my point. Like, okay, for threading, for example, which library do you use? Do you use Tokio? I mean, Tokio is great, but it's really for I/O bounded. I'm blanking on the one that does the common iterators, that multi-threads iterators. What is that called? See, I'm even blanking on it right now. And that's kind of the problem, because if I wanted to do it as a newcomer, I wouldn't even know where to start searching. And Dirk, like I said, I like how Rust did it. I just understand that there's downsides to it too. You can agree with a method and also understand that there's shortcomings to that method. Like the fact that there's no built-in JSON parsing. I like that there's not, and I like Serde, and I like that freedom that is given there. But I also understand the downside to newcomers. The downside to newcomers, they're like, how do I parse JSON? I just have a web service. I got JSON. How do I do it? You always trust people on Reddit. Reddit is a place where people share love and good choices. It is actually better about showing love than Twitter. Probably not. I'm not sure the benefits of built-ins outweighs the downside either. Like I said, Dirk, I think I agree with you, and I like how Rust did it. I just understand how that makes newcomers feel, I guess. And I don't know if there's a happy medium, because I feel like in Go's case, there's nothing that says you can't do it outside of the language. But because it's in the language, nobody does it. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh, good point. What is Twitter? I mean, that's what I call it. I told my wife that I was seeing, and she did not know what I meant. I don't know is it called tweeting now? Is it still called tweeting? Or is it called xing? Yeah, Dirk, I don't know. It's like jQuery for JavaScript. I don't know. I don't know if there is a happy medium. Because with Go, I don't know that the language actually stops you from actually Uh, I don't know that the language actually stops you from creating libraries like we have in Rust. Is it that nobody creates them because we have half of an implementation in the standard library? I don't know. Like, that's an interesting question. And I haven't looked. Maybe the language doesn't provide the primitives that you need to do that. I don't know which one it is. I'm up for Ghost. I'm up for Ghost. I'm not smart enough to write a language. Have you written in OCaml? I'm not sure how I feel about OCaml. I'm not sure. Yeah, modules do give both of us PTSD. If you want to know what I think is the worst thing in Go, forget everything that we've mentioned. Forget everything that we've mentioned. Forget absolutely no enums. Forget square braces for their generics. Forget the problems with Go routines. Modules, Go modules. That is the absolute worst thing. And that's actually the one ticket that I opened and spent a bunch of time opening and with an issue. And the Go team like said, it's a feature and closed it. And I was like, oh, I spent like hours documenting that bug. And they were just like, yeah, nope, not fixing it. Ah, that hurt my heart. It hurt my soul. So what I'm wondering with this chatbot is we have this event sub where we're doing these events, but the chatbot, so like if what I wanted to do is I want to make sure that I'm starting to take breaks, especially on my Saturday streams. I need to be taking a couple larger breaks when I stream for like 6 hours straight, which I haven't been doing. One of the things I would love to do is basically have I'm away from the thing and have you guys get to play like Wordle or something, chat, see how many times you can solve Wordle before I get back or something like that. I think something like that would be fun in like a TUI. Now, what I was thinking is we could actually make this chatbot part of our thing here. Because, we already have an AI thing because I thought we could have a couple different games. Maybe you guys play versus an AI or something. We already have a couple things in here that we could reuse. But I don't think the API... breaks. Twitch doesn't adhere to OSHA. Touche. Okay. All right. So I was thinking about adding it to, the Twitch event listener, but it's not actually the Twitch event listener. I guess there's basically an IRC server. So now I'm wondering if we make it its own thing. Maybe we make it in here as a separate submodule. We already have the AI manager as a submodule. We have the Twitch. Maybe we'll just make it its own submodule here. Yeah, I was gonna say Dutch. You're not even paying Dutch. I do believe I do believe that That Togglebit gave you a sub. Wait. What sounds noisy? Am I hitting the mic? Is there something hitting the mic? Oh. So what I thought the idea was is basically I have this here. I have something like this that I run. So I don't actually use this that much, except for examples. Let me show you. So I have this, which basically just does this and moves around a little bit. And so instead of this, I thought that I would have a Be Right Back TUI that would be connected to Twitch chat and could play Wordle or something. And basically, you guys could give it commands. It wouldn't have chat and Wordle. Maybe it would have chat like over on this side here, and it would have Wordle on this side, or something like that. Yeah. Kind of like Twitch plays Wordle, and maybe we have a couple different things. Maybe whenever we start it, it picks from a couple different. Wordle was the first idea. I have PTSD from Wordle as well, from Russell. So, but I think we'll just create our own module for it. I don't know that it integrates with any of these at this point, but a lot of this is like reusable. That's the idea behind it. The listener service uses this this project, the Twitch API, and this has support for the Rust Twitch API. Rust Twitch API has support for the. I'm pretty sure it has support for the chatbot. So hopefully we can just reuse that. All right, Rust library for talking with the new Twitch API, Helix. I can read English. So we're using it for the event sub right now, but does Helix cover the chat bot? There's an actual game that does that, by the way. Words on stream or something? Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I just thought it would be fun to make. I think people like making stuff on stream for stream. I mean, like that's like half of what I do. I do Eddington. That's actually another reason, Dirk. I have another reason to use Go, and that's actually Eddington. Like, I could make it in Rust, but I would have to reinvent wheels, effectively. That just don't exist in anything but Go. And so I use Go for it. That's literally what I wouldn't use Rust except for that. Like I would have to reinvent wheels to use it. And thus I thought it was better. I want to get something out the door. I actually want to build it this year. So I'm using Go. Eddington is our other project. It's what we were working on in Go. So I've gotten tired of cloud providers. And so I'm creating an open source cloud, kind of like OpenStack, except that doesn't suck as much as OpenStack. It's a little different than OpenStack. I'm gonna have a video on it here soon, and you can watch the video. Well, it was in Go. It was in Go, Dirk. So you would be shaking by now. You would be shaking. But yeah, so the idea is The idea is I want to just make an application and I want it to run in the cloud. I want it to run on a server somewhere. And maybe I want to run three servers, and I'd like them to communicate via an event hub. Setting up all of that infrastructure, the databases that go behind it, the backup and restore, that's actually more work than creating the simple applications. And so what I want to do is I want to create a deployment place where basically your configuration, like whether it has a URL in the environment variables for a database, is what creates a database on the back end for you. It is what creates a message queue in the back end for you, and it configures your application to talk to that message queue. So literally, it is serverless. You never think about a server. You would never think about, I need a VM. That you run applications in it and you expose them. That would be it. He would have loved our standard error troubleshooting. Oh, that was rough. That was rough. Let me tell you. Sounds iffy? Oh, it's super iffy. It's super iffy. It is. It is, I mean, the idea is you could run it in AWS if you wanted to. You could run it wherever you wanted. You could run it on bare metal. You could run it in AWS. Run it wherever you like. Let's see. Do we have an example on... Huh. What's a tower client? Yeah, I am using, you know, if you look here, let's see. Yeah, this K0S cluster is actually my home cluster. So I don't know why this one likes to go down. It's a problem. We'll have to work on it. I actually need to upgrade this. I need to do that really badly. I run it on bare metal here at home. I mean, so this is a Go service. This is the Go service. Again, I can go into how many things I would have to recreate that just don't exist in Rust that makes it unfeasible. There's a lot of architecture that goes with that. I don't think so. The server just turns off. Like, it's not on right now. And I don't think the restart is working very well. So they're just my servers are just some literally laptop motherboards that are wired in there. So they're not real servers either. Laptop motherboards. So yeah, I wanted. Yeah, the actual Linux node is down. It's actual hardware. It's actual hardware. I wanted like so Eddington is me playing around with what a cloud could actually be. It could be really sketchy. Like I said, Dirk, like it kind of sounds sketchy, but it could be awesome because like so far what I got to was that you go to AWS to not manage servers, and then you do a lot of managing servers. You use infrastructure as code to try to manage them. You do a lot of configuration of services. Like you're like, oh, well, I want an RDS database. And it's great that they spin one up. But then how does your application connect to the RDS database? It's not as simple. And doing it securely is even more difficult. And so I got to a point where it was like, we're doing a lot of managing for not managing these resources. What if my app says, hey, I want a database, and you get a database? Wouldn't that be awesome? I don't even know if I can do it all. I think I can. I have ideas for how to do all of it. And so what I'd like it to do is you write your application and you say, yeah, go for it. I want these paths exposed. That's it. Done. Everything else is handled for you. Does it use a database? Handled for you. As long as I'm going to start with a Postgres database. So as long as the database you want is a Postgres database, done. Handled. What is this tower client? What are you? But see, no, that's not CloudFormation or Terraform. Both of those require you to write code to manage your cloud. I'm saying there is as little or none of that as possible. It's just automagical, which is super sketchy. I get it. Like, that doesn't offend me. Super sketchy. Okay. Twitch IRC chat. Okay. We have two options here for this. So this doesn't actually support Twitch chat. That's what I was seeing. Okay. Now, this is a fellow streamer, so I might have to use this. We're going to look at this though. I have used Tower. They have a proto buffer, I believe, that I've used. So this is a Tokyo. What does this use? So will the null cloud be sketchy? Yes, but I will love it will all be up for you guys. So actually we'll see if this works, but we're going to make the null cloud. And I'm going to make educational videos. The other thing is I'm going to make educational videos on it. So basically this is all running on my home server stuff here. So it's pretty cool. And as soon as it gets in a pretty good working state, we're going to, I'm going to let anybody that's a longtime Twitch follower, they're going to get free access to it. To break. It will break, but it'll break a lot. It's super sketchy. No firewall, straight to his. It runs on a separate network. Dutch, thank you very much. It's on its own VLAN. I almost put it on the same network as my IoT because I thought that would be funny. to be able to use Alexa. I don't have an Alexa, but I was going to get an Alexa to be able to screw with the null cloud. I thought that would be like pretty funny, but also horrible. You know, like Alexa, delete Dutch's account. That's the command that I would need. It's probably a pretty good idea. I know to not do it. Let's see. I believe, I don't know. I kind of like how this one looks more, but I do believe that he's a fantastic Rust streamer. Dutch, I don't know that I would be able to get enough people to use it to keep crashing a random person's app. I believe he X's a lot. He X's a lot. I think there might be more alternate clouds, Dirk. I think like the coolest thing for Eddington, if anybody actually liked using it, is the idea that you could. One thing that I would love to do in Eddington is basically let you run it on bare metal and link it to a version of Eddington running in the cloud as well. So basically, you could spill over to the cloud. So like, I think one really cool way to run is where you're like, I have 12 servers, and that should do my load for right now. But before one problem with like an actual data center is the lag time between knowing you need more hardware and the 20,000 new users because it just blew up. But if you could just spill over onto a public cloud simply and easily and maybe automatically, I think that would be amazing. I think that would be super amazing. So that's another thing that we're going to have to try. Hybrid cloud is 2015 because it sucked. It sucked for many reasons. One, it sucked because it was vendor lock-in. Every hybrid cloud so far, don't get me on this, every hybrid cloud attempt so far has been vendor lock-in. Literally vendor lock-in. You want a GCP hybrid cloud, they'll sell it to you. They have their Anthos. And it's literally GCP selling their stuff on your hardware. You pay them for their software that's GCP, which why would you even want, to run on your hardware? It's the worst thing ever. It's absolutely garbage. Absolute garbage. Oh, I'm sorry, Dutch. I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. Okay, so this. Oh, wait. This seems to just be a parsing. So I almost need to use this and this because this just seems to be parsing the messages. It's not actually doing it. This is the async thing to actually do it. Okay. I'm understanding now. Sorry, it took me a little while. Does this do any parsing itself? Google is way behind. I don't actually know why people pick Google. I don't actually know why people pick Google. All right, let's see if we can't do this. Let's see. At Microsoft, they were designing data centers where the racks would noise cancel each other out. That is actually pretty awesome. Let's see. We want to create. I never remember in here how to do this. No, we don't want. Let's see. We want. I don't know exactly how we're going to do this. Basically, I'm thinking maybe we want two things. We want one thing to do chat. So let's do Twitch chat. Can I make it just a directory like this? Cool. Awesome. Let's just do cargo init in there. Let's see. What do we want to let's see. We want to just init here. Done. Beautiful. I think it would be a ton of fun if we got the Eddington, the Null Cloud actually working where people like to use it, and we were able to buy like a couple of servers in a co-located area. I think that would be tons of fun to do and make videos to like as an educational thing. I've never run a data center. I have done a lot of as a service stuff, and I have a lot of knowledge on those types of things. But as far as like a data center goes, I don't have a ton of experience. So, but I like making educational videos where people can learn. So I think if we get 3 servers in a colo, I will have considered all of this a fantastic win. That's more than my dreams could. I'm still happy with the 3 laptop motherboards that we have in here. I think it's pretty fun. It's pretty janky, but it's pretty fun. I am not opposed to janky. So I just copied. I do. Yeah, and you know, colos aren't really that expensive. So our local colo, I can put a 1U server in there for $70 a month. And that pays for power and 1 gig internet to it. Redundant power. I mean, like, that's not bad. So you're talking about an operational cost of like $250 for 3 servers for like redundancy. I mean, obviously I can't afford that right now with my, but like it's not horrible. And like you could run a small service off of that. You could run a large service, 3 servers. You could run a pretty big service off of, honestly. Especially if you write it in Rust. Maybe Go. Maybe OCaml, but I heard OCaml is just not that performant. That's what I've heard. I've heard that it's bad. All right, I need to do Twitch IRC. No. Oh no, what did I? If you really want performance, you use C#. Okay, you know what the best part? You know, I've taught myself everything that I know. You know, I have no formal schooling education on software engineering. You know what I love most about C#? Honest to truth fact here. The thing I like most about C# is the Roslyn compiler, because I taught myself everything I know about how compilers work based off of them open sourcing the Roslyn compiler. Oh, I did not mean to copy that in. I meant to copy the version. I already had that. I was just looking for this. Ah, here we go. Copied the wrong line. I can't stand the Primeagen either. Successful Twitch programmer rubs me the wrong way. I think he's one of the successful ones. I don't watch. Functional language tends to be memory hungry just because you tend to copy a lot. I mean, isn't that I'm not a huge functional person. I have done some. I should do a functional stream. We should do a Haskell or something fun. But I mean, like, they're kind of memory intensive by design, right? That's my understanding. Like that's how the functional languages prove their correctness, is by, you know, basically copying data a lot more than you normally would. Oh, Dutch. That's a permaban right there. You should do a functional stream. All right. Java. We're doing the Java stream. I might X that. I most of my X's are Yep. Completely worthless. Don't follow me on Twitter. Okay. Do you have to log in for this? You can't unsub. Togglebit gifted you a sub. You can't even do what you threatened. Do we need to log in? You know what the Twitch bot needs to do is anytime somebody asks a question about JavaScript, it gives them like a 1 minute timeout for asking about that would be toxic. I'm not going to do that. Not going to. Maybe one stream. Maybe one stream. That would be the stream nobody asks about it. Oh, perfect. Doesn't. I do need a proper cone of silence. That's correct. I'm actually working on, so instead of doing this for the cone of silence, I'm actually working on a fun display for the cone of silence. I'm working on a few little things for the stream, a few little animations. All right, so after connecting to the server, the first messages that all bots must send are the pass and nick messages. These okay. Perfect. So does this tell us how to do that? Oh, this is the wrong one. It's this one. Here we go. Let's see. Join handle. First thing you should do is start consuming incoming message. Otherwise, they will back up. Join a channel. This function only returns an error if the past channel. Okay. Let's actually go to the repository. So to me, Dirk, and like I said, I'm not a huge functional person. Rust took a lot of the things that made functional awesome, but wasn't pure functional. Which meant that you could still write sane code. Not exactly what I meant, but yes, you get the idea. It's like you could still write code that was memory performant, and sometimes functional programming. Yeah. We have to log in, right? What's this? This new config. Oh, join chat as anonymous. Oh, but then I wouldn't have the ability to like ban or do anything like that. Okay. So this is how we log in with who we're going to. I got it. No. I agree. I think Rust has a ton of functional inklings. Now, I would also argue that it has a bunch of object-oriented. If you're talking about like the actor pattern and message passing, it has a lot of stuff that comes. Like I feel like Rust took what is generally considered the good aspects of functional and object-oriented and combined those. Just has C and idioms that look imperative. Sure, so is Tokyo and all the threading. I mean, we've already been down this, is that the language doesn't do those things, right? Which I like. Like I said, I mean, I think it has some downfalls, but I do like as a whole. This is the only example. Okay. So we're just going to start hacking. Let's see what this config has for us. You know what? Undo. I accidentally deleted stuff. We might need to add this to we might need to add this to our .toml. We have this one here that has all of our projects because this is like workspace. Maybe bad way of doing this, but it'll be fine. Did I call it Twitch chat? I think I did. Yeah, Twitch chat. Perfect. All right. You know what? We might need to go and do... Let's just do that really quickly. No, Dirk, I mean, I love these conversations with you and Russell and Dutch. Like, the thing is, everybody comes from a certain spot, and that colors our view and our opinions on things. And it doesn't mean that they're right or wrong. It just means that we have a different way of looking at it, or we're looking at the same problem from a different angle. And that's where sometimes I'll say, I think we agree. I just see it a little bit differently. Like, I agree with you on the power of Surdy. I just also see a little bit of the other side because, you know, I come from a place where I taught myself everything. And so if I had started with Rust, I would have never gone anywhere, period. Those types of things would have killed me. Thankfully, I started with Java. As bad as that is, it was simple. Probably taught me some bad things, but it's fine. Oh, this uses Tokyo. Oops. I started with Android. So Android was pretty simple. They had a ton of examples and stuff. So whether Java was simple or not, and I'm not saying it was simple to write good Java, it was simple to make my application. I'm just going to do like version 1.0. I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's like 132. I'm going to just throw that out there. 163. I was so far off. 163. Yep. Like I said, 163. Oh, no. Look at this. 132. Oh, my goodness. I screwed up. It is 132. And the fact that I knew that is maybe also bad. Nailed it. Yeah, so I did Android for a little while. I learned Android. I taught myself to Android. So I was a chemical engineer at GE, and I taught myself to program Android. All right. The problem is you wrote Lisp in there. I saw that. That screws with the brain. You can't think properly after writing too much Lisp. What was the name of that? It's probably still installed. Rust. What was it called? Rust Rover. Okay, Dirk, have you used Rust Rover? Have you used it? Have you tried it? How do I freaking start Rust Rover? One second. I think I put it in my bin somewhere. Let's see. I think it's just right here. Yeah. Rust Rover. What a terrible name. You know what? It's the week of terrible names. We first got Rust Rover. But it wasn't just Rust Rover. Dirk, that is literally what I said in my news thing. I said, how do you know a language has made it? JetBrains made a IDE for it. You should have joined us on Sunday. You literally stole my words. Just stolen. That is literally what I said, though. You know a language has made it when JetBrains makes an IDE for it. All right. I'm going to show you what is quite possibly the best TOML editor this side of the Mississippi. Oh, you were lurking? Nice. I'm going to redo my news a little bit. I think I'm going to try to focus on just a few things instead of trying to be so wide. But check this out, Dirk. I am not a... I'm not using this for a couple reasons. But one feature that did impress me was, let's go with this. Twitch chat. Cargo. Let's open it. Okay, my goodness. Watch this. This is beautiful. Let's say we wanted to add Tokyo. We just start typing T. Oh, look at this. Tokyo right here. But, I mean, you could keep searching. And it's going through crates.io and bringing in everything that you could possibly want. And more. Most of the stuff I don't want. Then you hit return, and it gives you the versions right here. This is the best cargo TOML editor out there. By hands down. Now, I have other complaints. Like, I have to click this button to reload the cargo changes, even though I saved the file. Like, why do I have to do this? And if I don't do this, nothing will work. So you have to click that button. It's still in beta, though. It's still in beta. Is there parsed crates info in other things? Like, I would add that to what I need to do for my Vim config. My Vim does not do anything nice like that. Anyways, if you were new to Rust, I think that this is a great place to start. You know, you want to put Nalgebra in here, you can just like do Nalgebra. Okay, and then I'm done. I didn't even have to know. It's pretty fantastic. It's slow though. It is slow. It's classic JetBrains slow, but I think if you were new to Rust and you just wanted to do Rust, like you just wanted to focus on Rust and not setting up your IDE and whatnot, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I'd probably still use code if I was, but it's okay. No one knows Nalgebra exists, though. That's a problem. That's a problem. I like Algebra. But you'd have to have a Windows or Mac machine. That's like the problem, right? I don't think it would actually perform better. You think Java runs better on Windows and Mac? You think? I don't know about that. I don't know about that, dude. Also, this may just be me. If you do an example in Rust, this is my personal taste. I like it to just have its own cargo file, like as like its own library. I know why people do this, and it's fine. It's just a little bit less fun. We have something, tracing info. Okay, we can just get rid of the tracing info. We're just trying this out. Let's see, what did they... Oh, this is supposed to all come from their stuff, right? Wait. Where is this coming from? I'm just trying to do their example, right? Okay. Okay, so they do have we also need to do we're just going to do this. This will be easier this way. Oh. I have no idea who Soda Poppin' is. One second, I'll learn how to write cargo to Omelpiles. Big streamer? Is he as big as I am? Does he amass the type of crowds and fanfare that I demand? Oh wow, he's slightly bigger? Nice. Okay, so we're setting up some tracing. Never used that library before. This is this config. So we should be able to go into this now. Oh man, this is not quite working. I wonder... Oh, it's this right here. Okay, I got it. I got it. We're just going to... I see it now. All right. It built, but I'm not getting any, like, space age is not working here. I'm not getting any information on these. I wonder why. There we go. There we go. Just a hiccup. Just a hiccup. So this is what we need to give our login credentials. Set of credentials every time the client needs to log in on a new connection. Oh, beautiful. L. Love it. Okay. So this needs to be a asynchronous function that gets credentials. I wish that there was something that showed me how to use this. What does default do? What does default do? Oh, okay. So I could just use this new here. Okay. So, okay. This is all I need right here. Cool. He has, you know what? That's a little hurtful. Also, how do you have 0.2? Like, or 0.89 more followers than me? How is he getting partial followers? Can you partial follow somebody? That seems unrealistic. Also, it's just unrealistic. Partial followers. Oh, it's times more followers. Not that he has that many more followers. I got it. That's a lot of followers. That's a lot of followers. I'll have to work on it. I'll have to work on it. You know, I feel like I'm close. Close. 8.9 million followers. Hmm. Mid-sized streamer, you say? Not quite on my. That's right. Not quite on my level. I'm one of those people that, you know. Pretty sure the Primeagen is more popular. Pretty sure most people are more popular. I do know who the Primeagen is. All right, let's run this and just see where it gets us. All right, send something. Look at this. Cool. So we have chat. Now we're just anonymous. I think, honestly, I think that's why he's a popular one. I mean, you know, like I try to make these as fun as possible. But it's a hard challenge. How do you make coding fun? Let's talk about that because I'm still working on it. I'm especially working on my YouTube channels. I think my next things are going to be a little bit more fun. I don't want to lose, you know, the educational portion. I do want to make them a little more fun though. All right. So let's see. Oh, they're just using this tracing. So basically, this is where we could deal with a message, and this is the message coming in. Does this have a type? Not really. It doesn't seem like it does, really. This is not like a parsed message. Is this where we need the other library? This one? That will parse it? It almost feels like it. This doesn't seem to give us any information on... Isn't it better to have 1,000 loyal fans than 100,000 meh ones? Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I think that's where this other library comes in. The one from this guy. Museum. He streams. I do know that. I think this will parse them. I was just looking to see if this had any parsing. Let's see. It doesn't really seem like this does. This is literally just about the transport, I think, which is cool. I like the separation of concern. We'll try this one though. We'll try this. I was just going to look here really quickly. This was the one that was saying this wasn't in scope. Twitch IRC chat, use this or this. They say or, but I really feel like it's and. I really think it's and. All right, let's let's find this Twitch message. Is it on crates.io? It does look Jason. Let's put it in Jason. Let's see. It's not actually Jason, but it does look Jason-y. All right. Let's stop that and put this in a Jason Pretty Printer. All right. We got to delete some stuff. Like this. So we have one parenthesis to delete. Let's see. I mean, oh, these are tracing lines. These are tracing lines. This is tracing. I've never used tracing. This is just what they were using. I've never used tracing before, but I bet you I bet you it's structured. Yeah. All right, let's just get this other one. I think I got it here. Yeah. That is not what I meant to do. Okay. Okay. I'll take you, Vim. I'll one-up you. Probably not. Vim will win. Vim will win. It always does, but I will try. I've gotten so accustomed to not using Rust Rover, but it really is a fantastic TOML editor. It really is a fantastic TOML editor. That takes a minute and a half to load. It's a full TOML editor. I think I'm giving up on Rust, and I'm just going to switch to TOML. I'm going to write everything in TOML. So let's see. Get some data from somewhere. I love this guy. TOML is any in disguise, or is any really TOML's little kid sibling? That's what you have to think about. Any is actually just TOML's kid sibling that wants to be cool but isn't. I mean, kid sibling as in capabilities, of course, not age. Sorry. Let's just I don't know. We have the data from somewhere. Let's do this. Oh, sweet. Okay. Okay, we can kind of like put this into like a message type here. We're just going to delete that. Paste. I always forget that when I delete, I just stomp on my buffer. It hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings. Replace with register. So I have to type replace with register to delete something? Oh, it's a plugin. It's a plugin. Okay. So I can I can just paste over top of instead of like the next line. Does NeoVim have this, though? Wait, I can use Vim plugins, right? No, I can't. I can't use Vim script. Uh-oh. I don't know. I don't know. Does NeoVim? I don't know that it doesn't. I don't know. Do Vim plugins? I don't know what I typed. Plugins work with NeoVim. Okay, so most plugins are compatible with NeoVim and Vim. So there are some NeoVim that are not compatible with Vim. Okay. Okay, so if it's the Lua bindings might not be compatible with Vim, but it should be. Okay, so let's go back to this. So we should just be able to install this. Replace with register. Let's see. Maybe I'll do this another day. I don't even know. This file's gotten so massive, I need to break it apart. Ooh, good call. I do need to go to bed. It's like 1 a.m. It is 1 a.m. I thought I was feeling a little bit tired. Whew. I do need beauty sleep. I need my beauty sleep. That is one thing I definitely need. All right. I am going to have to call it for tonight. Yeah, thank you for that. I was feeling kind of tired. I wasn't thinking. All right. Cool. Well, we'll get to this Twitch chat, and we got to use a TUI. I kind of want to try to use an Anthema, just since we all know Togglebit. I feel like it's maybe not quite there yet, so I don't know what we'll do for TUI just yet for the UI. But I figure we have a bit of stuff to do before we get to a TUI anyways. We can do some like fun stuff with chat anyhow, maybe do our own commands, get rid of Nightbot altogether. So we have some stuff to do. So anyways, thank you everybody for joining. I had fun. I hope you did too. And I will